The Screwball Hall of Fame continues, my friend, and this week is like no other. I'd like to induct former center fielder Coco Cavelli Chris. Ooh, say
Coco, Chris.
Coco Puffs, maybe. I guess Coco had a pretty crisp 15-year career, mainly with Cleveland, Boston, and Oakland. He's actually a pretty good average hitter early on in his career until the last few years. He wasn't exactly hot cocoa when he was that bad. He was pretty much a swing and a miss guy. He was a very good center fielder, actually. He had a career .991 fielding percentage. He only committed 30 errors in 15 years. That's pretty good. Like you're talking average of 2 per year. So Coco Crisp goes in my Hall of Fame. I think he's in a lot of people's, especially he's one of the more mainstream screwball names out there. What did you get this week?
I got one from the turn of the century, actually,
Oh,
my
no.
friend. Baby Doll Jacobson.
Oh, Baby Doll.
Yes, Baby Doll. He was born William Chester Jacobson on August 16, 1890 in Cable, Illinois. Played 11 seasons in the majors as an outfielder for the Tigers, St. Louis Browns, Red Sox, Indians, and the Philadelphia A's. He was actually one of the best hitters during the prime of his career in the American League. He batted over 300 for 7 straight seasons. That's like pretty good. In 1922, he finished second behind the legendary Babe Ruth with 122 runs. And he was a lifetime 311 hitter, 83 home runs, 818 total RBIs. Jacobson not only was a pretty good hitter, but also a good fielder as well, setting 13 defensive records during his career. So definitely a baby doll in everybody's eyes.
Gangster. That's Baby Jacobson. He's coming to you out the phone.
And interesting, the way he got his nickname Baby Doll, it was when he came up to bat on opening day in 1912. The popular song back in the day, "Oh You Beautiful Doll," he hit a home run in his first pitch that he saw, and the lady sitting behind the plate jumped and shouted, "You must be that beautiful doll that they were talking about." And that's how the name got stuck.
I wonder if when action figures and dolls got created, if they would have created one for him, like a baseball edition, would it be a baby doll action figure or an actual baby doll Jacobson?
Hopefully it won't be in pink though.
No. Oh my goodness. Oh, speaking of youngsters, I'm gonna get to my screwball moment this week. One of the infamous ones that all anti-Yankee and Yankee homers loved. Jeffrey Maier stealing the ball in
Oscar Maier.
Oscar Maier. He was a wiener that day. The little wiener Maier. Game 96 American League Championship Series. You remember this? 12-year-old Jeffrey Maier deflected a ball. Was hit by Derek Jeter.
Oh my
Lord. Tony Tarasco, like he had a read on it. He had his glove out, and you could see in the slow motion replays, he probably would have caught that ball. But Maier stuck his glove out, deflected the ball into the stands, and the Yankees went on to win that game. And they tied the game at 4 at that point, and then they won the game in extra innings, and then went on to win the World Series that year. So you can thank Jeffrey Maier for starting that Yankee dynasty, if you want to call it that. The weird thing is that this should have been ruled. This is like so foul. Like out of all the things I've seen, this should have been ruled in fan interference. But the umpire Rich Garcia, if you remember him, called the
good old Rich Garcia.
And the game was tied, right? The AL president at the time, Gene Buddig, not Bud Selig, Buddig, then he denied Baltimore's protest of that ruling because judgment calls cannot be protested. What he meant was that in the umpire's judgment, if he had called interference, that would mean he would have to determine what the most likely outcome of the play would be, either an out or awarding Jeter or given a number of bases. I mean, after watching the footage, Garcia actually agreed that there was a fan interference, but that the ball was not catchable. But I don't understand that. How does he know that? How does he know that Tarasco wouldn't have caught that ball? If in his judgment, he would have had to made the call out or giving Jeter bases, he clearly would have just given him bases anyways. But how can you assume that ball could not be caught? If a 12-year-old can stick his glove out and guide the ball into the stands, why can't Tony Tarasco do the same thing and guide the ball into his glove? I mean, Garcia should have called for fan interference and given Jeter second base, because we cannot assume like it would have been caught, but we also cannot assume it wouldn't have been caught. What I saw was an umpire given a favorable home call because Major League Baseball wanted to do everything they could at the time to ensure the Yankees and the Braves would meet in the World Series instead of Baltimore and Atlanta that year. Guaranteed. What do you got this week?
Well, going back to that thing you mentioned, that just goes to show you that if Ichiro was playing that game, he would have caught that ball.
You wouldn't have to jump a little higher though.
Well, he can climb as a cat. Like, that guy's unbelievable.
He was the same size as a 12-year-old, so.
Yes. Well, anyway, my screwball moment is April 30th, 1990, between the Mets and the Braves. David Cohn arguing with the umpire that led to 2 runs scored for the Braves. It happened in April 30th, 1990 at Fulton County Stadium. The Mets facing the Braves. Mark Lemke of the Braves up to bat for Atlanta. He hits a ground ball to second base. Greg Jeffries then throws to Cohn covering first base. The putout should have retired Lemke, but for some reason Charlie Williams, the first base umpire, called Lemke safe at first. Cohn thought that there was time called, and he was still holding onto the ball, and he began to argue with the umpire in the process. So this blunder led to Braves runners Dale Murphy and Ernie Wood to score on the play, and Atlanta ended up winning that game 7-4. So that just goes to show you, like, if you're not really paying attention to the moment of the game, and you got caught in the moment of arguing with the umpire, and the play is still alive, like, that's just a blunder and a half for anyone.
I mean, yeah, it's like if the whistle blows, you stop play. I mean, if the umpire makes a call, the game's over. Why are you still arguing if people are running bases? Like, your head should be in the game still. But not one of David Cohn's brighter moments. I mean, he's more of a Conehead that day than anything else.
Absolutely, my friend.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below.